And good morning, everybody. My name's Dave Lynch, and I'm the city manager for the city of Newton Falls, Ohio. And this is our COVID-19 Newton Falls morning briefing. Some people call it the update, but the whole point is for everybody in Newton Falls to have information related to the coronavirus that's unique to our community. The governor has great conferences at 2 o'clock Monday through Friday, especially listen to Amy Acton. And the President's Task Force has regular news conferences, usually towards later in the day. Well, this morning we are getting inch by inch a little bit closer to the governor's decision that things can open up a bit, and we're looking forward to that, especially for our business community. Newton Falls is a smaller community, so we have small businesses, and they need to be open in order to survive. But of course, we want to protect your health. So I say every morning when you go to retail establishments that are open, such as our Dollar General store or going to the IGA or to the Shop and Save, wear your mask when you're in a retail establishment. It protects microscopic pellets that might contain the COVID virus from going outward towards other people. So protect others and show you care by the mask that you wear. Well, this morning we're going to get to some areas of Newton Falls that we've always wondered about during the COVID-19 as the doors are closed, what's going on inside. And what I mean by that is what's going on inside the Newton Falls Public Library. And we have on the live line right now Mallory Juriak from the Newton Falls Public Library. Good morning, Mallory. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Great. Thank you for coming on the program this morning. Well, how have you been able to keep the library open, so to speak, on a virtual basis for the folks that are sheltered in?
Well, we have all been working from home. The library itself has always had ebooks and e-audiobooks that you can download. You can download them on your phone, your smartphone, your tablet, on your computer, if that's something that you have, through CleveNet eMedia. And if you have all you need is a library card and then a PIN number. And that's something that if you don't have, you can contact us. You used to need to go into the library to get a library card, but fortunately, now that that's not possible, it's set up so that if you go to clevenet.overdrive.com, or if you just go to our site, newtonfalls.org, and you click on eMedia, it will just set you up. You can put in your cell phone number, and it will just set you up with an e-card, and you can just check out those online books, and you can keep reading, and you can keep listening to books. You can check out there's magazines there, and you don't even have to come in to get a card. So that's nice.
That's outstanding. And I understand, I've got the number on the screen right now, 330-406-9792. And what happens when people dial that number now that we're in the virtual communication?
So if you've ever called the library before, you might notice that is not our old number. Since we're not in the building to answer it, we've set up a new number that will ring out to 3 of our librarians, and we will answer it. We can answer your questions from home.
It's outstanding. And the website is, what library website, if you can help me with that?
It is just newtonfalls.org.
Pretty good. I don't know how you latched onto the website. That's pretty good, newtonfalls.org. Somebody must have been out there making sure they latched on to that domain name.
Yeah, someone was on that pretty fast.
Yeah. That's outstanding. Now, one of the things that I've thought about, especially in your type of business, are you concerned that it's such an outstanding thing you're doing with the virtual access to the resources of the library that when things open up again, people are going to say, hey, I don't need to go inside the library. I've got Mallory and her fantastic virtual library.
I'm not necessarily worried about that. We are doing a lot of things online. Our children's librarian is awesome, Miss Chrissy. If you know her, she's moved a lot of her stuff online.
Sure.
If you go to our Facebook page, Newton Falls Public Library on Facebook, or to our website, again, newtonfalls.org. You can follow her story time. She reads nice little stories. She does science experiments. She does craft stuff. But obviously, that's stuff where it's really nice to do it in person.
Yeah, sure.
It's great to do it in home, but it's lovely to be able to just do that with other folks and see other folks. But
In other
when you
words,
can't do that,
you've got a lot of attractions why people should want to, once the virus is done with, physically come right into the library.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I've noticed too is that you have a very helpful staff. You're also in the reference area, and I have found that when one finds oneself in the library, the staff will really give you some in-person guidance. Isn't that true?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yes, we will. We try.
Yeah, that's great. Well, one thing that's always at the top of people's thought list when it comes to library is the renovation. So, what is the
Yes.
status of the renovation? Because, maybe the COVID has created even more anticipation. Tell me about it.
Isn't it exciting? All right, so our renovation is still carrying on as is safe. You can follow that on Facebook as well. It's really cool. We just put up, I think there's about 50 pictures in that album, and you can kind of see what's going on in there. If you've driven past the library, you might have seen some
Sure.
construction vehicles out there. But if you check the Facebook, you can see there's nice new carpet up there. They just put in some really pretty new glass doors so that you can see into the local history room a little bit more. They're going to have some nice display cases in there. I know there's something people wanted were some study rooms, just some quiet study areas where if you come into the library to meet, you're kind of right in the middle of everything and those public tables. And now you won't have to be. You can set up in your own little private area and have a meeting there or do your studying or whatever you need. It's going to be nice. There's going to be a bigger children's area with a nice place for story time. We're very excited about it. But yeah, you can follow along with us on Facebook and see how that's progressing.
Well, what we like about it is the library has sort of morphed not only as a place just for accessing information, but as a community meeting place to some extent, a place to come together as a community.
Absolutely. And we can't wait until we can do that again.
All right. Well, the number is 330-406-9792. So you can access Mallory and the entire staff over there. Mallory Duriak, thanks so much for your kind help, and thanks for keeping the library going. A lot of us are worried about our institutions, but clearly the library is in good hands. Thanks so much for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. That was Mallory Duriak from the Newton Falls Public Library, a place of learning, information, and hopefully, after the virus is gone, community gathering. But speaking of learning, I'm going to bring on our live line right now somebody who is going to help us when it comes to the schools of Newton Falls. We have a school system that is educating kids on a virtual basis, and we've got a 6th grade teacher who's going to talk to us about that from the Newton Falls school system. And she'll be on. Yes, hi. We have on our live line Peggy Giuliano from the Newton Falls school system, and she teaches over in the 6th grade. Peggy, how is school different for these kids? Are they still learning while the virus is controlling our lives a little bit here?
Yes, they are. Our main concern has always been that our students stay healthy and safe. We all have those mission statements. And so we are doing things a little bit different through many different methods. We're phone calling parents and students, talking them through lessons and just getting on digital access and Google Classroom. We're emailing them and examples and items of things that they may need for their lessons. We're using Google Hangouts, which are video meets, where they can just hang out, chat, maybe ask questions about an assignment, see their friends, touch base with the teachers who are in their lives every day, and we can touch base with them as much as they miss us. We are missing them just as much, sitting in front of us, listening to their stories, seeing their smiles. We're doing packet pass-outs at the school where if some kids are not able to have that digital access, we prepared packets where the parents can come and pick them up and turn in the lessons. Our guidance counselors have even been in some of the group meetings to help students. We're just doing so many different things, not that I would say different, because we use some of these things in our classrooms on a daily basis, but it's just the fact that they're not sitting there in front of us and having that immediate one-to-one response sometimes. We're still doing weekly lessons for students.
Sure.
Basically, our lessons are enrichment and review at this point. So we're still there.
That's
we're still
great.
Working. We're still helping our kids.
Peggy, one of the things I want to ask you about is now you're a sixth grade teacher, and at different grade levels may have a different approach to this, but the COVID-19 is a serious thing. It's a serious threat. How are you communicating as it relates to that issue? I mean, you can't treat it like the elephant in the room that you never talk about. How are you as educators interfacing with the kids on the subject of COVID-19 in such a way that they're getting good information, but that you're not frightening them, in a very frightful way?
We started that before the school system. The governor had shut down the school systems. We had Mrs. Noski, our school registered nurse, doing handouts for our parents and our students. We used material in the classroom that was from her, guiding us about washing hands, staying safe, staying home. That's why we're doing these online things, that it's safer for them to stay in their houses or play outside. We still want them to understand, get rid of their stress, because as much as adults are stressed, those kids are just as stressed. Their normal is not normal anymore. So we're talking them, just seeing us and talking to us online and emailing. We're having those conversations about staying safe, washing your hands, staying in, not worrying about meeting your friends, talk to them on the phone if possible. We're doing all those kind of things like everybody else is.
All right, so the kids, they really do, even though they're in the sixth grade for your group and onward up through the grades as well, the kids actually still have accurate information about the COVID-19 and they can handle it. Is that a fair way of putting it?
They have it. Some can handle. Some may not understand it all, but I think they do. The younger students are getting the hand washing and distancing. The older students are learning more about. They're delving into the information of the disease and where it started. They're doing some of those things at different levels. We do different things.
Sure. Well, that's great that the kids are. One of the things that I think frightens kids is when they're denied information. And my experience has been with kids, if you just explain things to kids, tell them the flat out truth, they'll be able to adjust. And of course, sixth graders, they're beginning to take those first steps into adulthood, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
You say that with a certain degree of wisdom of your experience there, haven't you?
Yes, I am. It's that age. They're beginning to want more information at that level.
Sure. Oh, that's great. Well, things are going on virtually, and the schools are also doing all kinds of other things, getting foodstuffs to the families. It seems like the Newton Falls schools have become even more of a family during the COVID-19. Do you have a comment on that?
Yeah, we have the teachers, the custodians, the cafeteria workers, the administrators. Every single level has stepped up their game. The bus drivers picking up, doing things for the the secretaries, everybody. I mean, I don't want to forget anybody when I say that. The entire staff of the Newton Falls school system has picked up and done something. We're all bringing in food for our kids. Most of us have participated in helping pack the food or pass out the food, deliver the food, getting the package ready for the kids, answering questions in those lines for parents. Just anything we can possibly do to help our families and students around this pandemic. We have just stepped up our game and done what we need to do to make sure that our families and children are safe and taken care of in Newton Falls.
Well, it gives us a great sense of confidence, and we look forward to the kids being able to see your smiling face sometime in the fall, because it looks like that's where we're headed. But thanks for what you're doing on behalf of the families of Newton Falls. To all the teachers and administrators, thanks for doing all the things necessary to make us feel as comfortable as possible, as safe as possible, and for keeping our education going. Thanks for your kind assistance in that.
I want to thank you for doing what you're doing also. These little talks in the morning and having them on Facebook, it has helped our community know what's going on out there in the world, and even helped us, packet pickups. You're getting out that information that our families need in a different way. So thank you.
Sure. Well, you can always contact the city manager's office, and thanks again. That's Peggy Giuliano, who also is the president of the Teachers Association and a 6th grade teacher. Thanks, Peggy. Have a great day today.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, that was Peggy Giuliano from the Newton Falls 6th grade classroom, where if you can remember back to the 6th grade, it's kind of a magical time. You are changing from the grade schooler who lacked maturity to the transitioning period, getting into junior high, anticipating the idea of growing up. And very exciting time, and kept exciting by virtue of the hard work of our school teachers at Newton Falls Schools. Well, that brings again the close to another one of our morning briefings. Every morning we're going to try to bring you some angle, pieces of information that's unique to Newton Falls and our institutions. When you go to the stores, wear your masks. And if you don't have a mask, we'll get you one and it won't cost you anything. Call the city manager's office, 330-872-0806. We'll put one in the mail to you. We'll put two in the mail to you if that's what you need. We want to make sure when you go to retail establishments, cover your nose and your mouth, and we'll provide you with those masks. And what we ask you to provide for yourself is the reaching out to our good Lord with the prayers to keep us healthy and safe. We are turning the corner on this thing. As Casey Coleman used to say in his broadcast, touching third and heading home. And hopefully home means opening up to a normal economy. So keep the masks on, keep the prayers going, and as I conclude every broadcast, God bless America and God bless the city of Newton Falls.